while many countries are focused on preventing a second wave of COVID-19, others are still very much struggling with the first one.
Thousands of protesters have taken to the streets in another round of violent anti-government demonstrations.
To Latin America now, where another year of serious unrest could lie ahead.
Human rights activists are anxiously awaiting for the president of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte, to sign a new law that punishes terrorism more harshly.
Fires continue to rage through the wilderness of the Brazilian Pantanal, the world's largest wetland.
More than 140 people have been killed in severe monsoon floods and mudslides across western and southern India.
In Karachi, floods batter the city, plunging Pakistan's financial capital into chaos.
Well, Venezuela remains in the grip of an economic crisis.
More than 15,000 hectares have been damaged by the forest fires currently raging through the northern Argentinian province of Cordoba.
While many focused others
More than 50.
still much struggling with the first one.
Fighting for our present, not just our future.
The climate crisis is already here. Countless times those in power congratulate us because we are going to change the future. Yet, global warming is a problem faced today.
It is in our countries that COVID-19 is hitting hardest. People are forced to choose whether to work, be able to eat and pay bills, or to be at home and protect themselves at the risk of having their houses taken away. This is our reality. Constantly living in fear for not only defending our territories, but also of the next calamity.
And what are the people who are most responsible for the climate crisis doing? Nothing. Just empty words and promises, or even worse, pretending that what you're doing is enough. USA and EU, you are historically the top emitters. China, you are currently the top emitter. Chevron, BP, Exxon, and Shell, you are the top polluters. You have a responsibility to the world, especially to us MAPA, most affected people and areas.
Unheard, but not voiceless.
Despite being the ones to bear the brunt of the extreme calamities, we are continuously ignored, kept out of conversations, and underrepresented in places of power.
There is a pressing need for voices to be heard all over the world, and especially in the global climate movement.
We are constantly reduced to statistics and sad stories, but that is not who we are. We are guardians of our present because we understand that the intensifying environmental crisis is only fanning the flames of the already existing socioeconomic crises we face every day.
We will not be the prisoners of injustice.
The burden to reduce carbon dioxide emission is forced open MAPA. When the dirty industries and waste production is funded by those in the most privileged countries.
On top of environmental destruction, polluters commit numerous human rights violations, all in service of greed and corruption to fulfill their interests.
In 2019, 212 environmental defenders were killed, with more than half of this killing happening in only 2 countries, Colombia and the Philippines. This was also the highest number of record annual cases, making this the deadliest year for defending their land and nature.
In the midst of this planetary crisis, common sense will dictate that those who are protecting the environment should be helped, yet the complete opposite is happening. Latin America and the Caribbean has been the most dangerous region in the world for environmental defenders since 2012.
Our governments want us to believe that everything will be fine after the COVID-19 pandemic, but that is not the case. The system is not broken. It was built to be unjust.
We demand world leaders, especially those of the most privileged countries and historically responsible for the climate crisis, to listen to most affected people and areas.
We demand climate justice. Reclamamos justicia climática.
We demand that carbon majors drastically lower their emissions, and we demand reparations for those countries that were colonized and not permitted to industrialize.
We demand cooperative accountability, biodiversity, conservation and representation of the Black, Indigenous and the people of color, and the environment defender voice in policymaking.
It is time for an overhaul of this systemic problem. We have the people with us. We will strike on September 25th to call for justice,
for our present, our future, and for our planet.
We are unheard, not voiceless.
ನಾವು ಮಾತನಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಆದರೆ ನೀವು ಕೇಳುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
Hatusikiki, lakini hiyo haimaanishi hatuna sauti.
Fighting for our present, not just our future.
Luchando por nuestro presente, no solo por nuestro futuro.
Lutando pelo presente, não apenas pelo futuro.
We will not be victims of injustice.
No seremos prisioneros de la injusticia.
Hindi tayo magpapabihag sa kadiliman.
Join us this Friday, September 25, to fight climate injustice.
Join us on September 25th to fight climate injustice.
Join us on September 25th to fight climate injustice.
Join us this Friday, September 25th, 2020, to fight climate injustice.